Hello everyone! Undermined is dropping this week, and I just got back from the Warcraft 30th anniversary celebration. There's a lot to record, a lot to turn into videos, but I did want to make a quick catch-up video for those who might be coming back or are just jumping into the War Within with the Undermine patch. Now say that you do want more detailed versions of the stories, then check out the playlist in the description.
The world's soul, so long denied me, shall be mine.
Xal'atath was within a blade during the expansion Legion, operating as an artifact for Shadow Priests, but was released by the old god N'Zoth in battle for Azeroth, and has been scheming in the shadows ever since. Now a voice is ringing out. Azeroth herself is calling the primordial world soul within the planets. And not the first time this has happened, according to the Locust Walker.
The radiant visions you spoke of are the very same my people had, before our world was consumed by the Void Lord Dimensius.
Locust Walker is an ethereal. Those who have lost their home of Karesh to Dimensius the All-Devouring. Is history going to repeat itself? Time is going to tell. He is also a super powerful Void Wielder, which allowed him to train Illyria Windrunner in the ways of the Shadow. One of the best to have on our side if we're gonna take on Xal'atath. But hearing a song doesn't tell us a whole lot. We need to know what is happening, what to do next. So we ask Magni Bronzebeard, Speaker of Azeroth, to speak with the World Soul as he has done in the past. The voice is so overwhelming though, it knocks him out just long enough for us to have our pre-event, deal with Azeroth, remembering moments from the past, manifesting them again on the surface for us to fight. When it was time for the expansion, Magni woke up, told us what Azeroth had told him. We needed to go to Khaz'goroth, and so we did. Just as Xal'atath wanted, Nerubians teleport into the city of Dalaran. Many of its citizens are taken away while the Dark Heart devours all that delicious power within the city. This powerful relic has its roots with the Black Dragon aspect Deathwing, and presumably goblins that had also helped him create the Dragon Soul. This was millennia ago, and all that time it had been hidden underground, until Iridikron picked it up in the expansion Dragonflight, consumed the hunger of Galagrond, and then passed it on to Xal'atath itself. A relic that can suck up magic and turn it into shadow. It's quite a counter-trinket to the skills of even someone like Khadgar, so the city and the Archmage go down. Our battle was lost, but the war within is far from over. Starting on the Isle of Dorn, we meet up with the Earthen, left here by the Titans and the Keepers to maintain the Coreway and its operations. Only problem is that their machines have been damaged and the automatic system's been broken down. Now they're slowly shutting down and they're also gaining free will. We'd later find out that this is actually Azeroth's influence, the Prime Soul trying to break free from the containment of the Titans, or as the Titans would see it, from their protections given to her to keep her safe from the Void's influence while keeping her firmly under their titanic, orderly control. Meaning that the Titans did not want the Earthen to step away from the original programming. That's why they came up with this whole system of upload their memories, giving them a good old reset, and remove Azeroth's influence. The Earthen were unaware of any of this, not until we dove into the archives. All the Earthen knew was that some of them started to step away from the Titans' edicts to live out their own lives. Some rigorously held on to those edicts as the will of the Titans was all that mattered to them, and others, they would try to uphold the Titans' wishes, but also realized that times are changing and they were going to have to adjust in order to keep on going. We meet these Earthen, we reunite them, we clear out the Coreway and Xal'atath's corruption, deeper into Azeroth to go after her. In the Ringing Deeps, we would find out that High Speaker Eirik is so desperate to keep their people and their machines going that he is willing to accept Xal'atath's bargain and allow her to make a whole bunch of corrupted Earthen, also known as the Skardin. We remove him from power and have High Speaker Brynth replace him. Meanwhile, the King of Diamonds, Magni Bronzebeard, Speaker of Azeroth, releases his gifts, Azeroth's gifts, cleansing the machines and giving birth to a whole new future for the Earthen. Their machines have been fixed, this time around with plenty of Azeroth's influence and a brand new playable race for all of us. The former king of Idaforge is going to enjoy his retirement, giving the stage to his daughter Moira and his grandson Dagran. In Hollowfall, we encounter an Arathi expedition sent out by their Emperor's prophetic visions. An Arathi empire that we haven't seen yet, on a mission to fight in Renilush, a prophesized massive final battle between the light and the void. Down below, the cave is lit up by a massive crystal they have named Beledar, just as their emperor had foreseen. We would learn that these crystals are actually calcified chunks of the world soul's essence. According to the Arathi, it had always been light, but then started to darken around the time that Sargeras stabbed the world at the end of Legion. The blood of the old gods shifting around. Power for Xal'atath waiting to be claimed, or for the Arathi, the darkened periods meant the ever-rising threat of the Nerubians and far darker creatures out of those waters surrounding them. Some of their people are starting to doubt and fall to shadow, but not Farron Lofar with her lamplighters at our sides. We would hold on to the hope and faith even in the darkest of times. This in turn started to guide Anduin Wrynn back onto the path of slowly but surely daring to reconnect to the light, especially after all he went through in the Shadowlands. Then in Azj-Kahet, we infiltrated Nerubian society and realized that not everyone is down with this new path of using the blood of the old gods to ascend themselves and follow the whispers of Xal'atath that have burrowed their way into the mind of their queen. Eventually, we'd go into the palace itself to get rid of their corrupted leader. We're also meeting the Harbinger. This is a mysterious new race, connected to the roots, potentially to life, hearing the voice, and getting visions from Azeroth as well. They normally keep to themselves and stay in the shadows, but times are changing, and the gathering of the Black Blood, the blood of the old gods, it heralds doom on such a level that they can't stay out of it any longer. Max level, and Jaina and Frau returned with the reinforcements. Frau used his elemental wisdom to help guide the Earthen into restoring and reforming their Storm Riders. This faction also got corrupted by Xal'atath, their Stormward Baelgrim sacrificing himself to fight off the Nerubians. Now it's Lucella that leads the charge. More troops to join our inevitable battle with Xal'atath. From the Ringing Deeps, we would get their Golem facility operational once again to add those units to our ranks. And then suddenly, Xal'atath makes her move, almost like she was waiting for us to get our units in order, and that is exactly what she wanted. All this conflict and strife, it apparently fuels the Black Blood's power, her power, which she slurps up out of Beledar with the Dark Hearts. Illyria, through all of this, has been struggling a lot with taking on Xal'atath, as the Harbinger knows exactly what buttons to push. Not to mention that the Whispers of the Void are constantly trying to drag her down. But her anchors, a Trellian, Arator, Locust Walker, Anduin, and their loved ones, they're the ones to give her the strength to resist and strike back. One single arrow slashes through the Dark Hearts, damaging the artifacts, forcing Xal'atath to retreat, and, surprisingly, releasing Archmage Khadgar. The Archmage was not destroyed, rather he magicked himself to be absorbed by the Dark Hearts. Not without consequences though, the time in the trinkets did his health no favors. Anduin dares to call upon the light once more, and what I assume to be a resurrection of Khadgar. The magical damage taken, being devoured by the Dark Hearts, it is going to leave its permanent wounds, and Khadgar now rolls around in a wheelchair. Could he magically float, or get himself a mech suit, or hop on a hippogriff? All of those are definitely options, but this chair was made for him by Archmage Modera, so you know he's not gonna leave it. Now Khadgar and the Kirantor, they would give their proper farewell to Dalaran, and look to a new future for their organization. What role it might play in the world going forward is to be decided. Within WoW, we then celebrate 20 years of World of Warcraft with a big old party at the Caverns of Time. followed by the Siren's Isle, which is similar to Return to the Forbidden Reach within Dragonflight. Like Beledar, this isle also had a big chunk of Azeroth's calcified soul, and it too calls out to both the good and the bad. We went in to make sure that it stayed out of the hands of the bad guys, learning the true story behind the mythos of the Siren's Isle, while also looting a powerful ring, which will come in handy for the next big patch, Undermined. The Dark Heart has been damaged, and who better to help her fix it than the race who helped create it to begin with? Good old Goblin ingenuity. Jester Gallywix finally returns. The former trade prince of the Bilgewater Cartel. He's not been standing still since that last random cameo within the Shadowlands. Meanwhile, the Harbinger, or Wayna, is getting visions from Azeroth, guiding her to what the goblins of Undermine are up to. But that story is going to be told within the next patch. So for now, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Hopefully, you're up to speed onto the story so far. Subscribe if you like my videos. New uploads at least every Monday. And until next time. See ya!
Just a Gallywix. He's back in business.